That's one of the bad boys.
We've just passed one. Oh, look. Hi, I just thought I'd explain why we did this trip. Basically, I'd already done the South Downs Way a couple of times before in the early 90s when I was a lot younger. And this was an opportunity with my daughter Meghann back over from the States for the summer period. And we thought, well, let's do a little adventure between ourselves. So we came upon the South Downs Way. It's about 100 miles and you can do it over a variety of days, depending on whether you want to backpack, overnight camp along the trail, B&B, or you can use firms to get you dropped off on various points and do it the easier way without carrying too much weight on your back. Anyway, we decided to rough camp and backpack the entire length, which, if the weather's nice, is okay. But if it's really wet or cold in the winter, then you do feel it's a bit of a slog. Anyway, we did this during July. The weather was really nice, although at times you'll see that the wind really got up and it felt like it was almost autumn winter type weather. So it's 100 miles, as I say. We've done it over 9 days, and then basically I wrote on the back of an envelope how I was going to split the walk up. You can see that it should have been an average of about 11.1 miles each day. But some days you might feel more tired than others and you might do less miles. Some other days you might find you've got loads of energy and you want to do more than that. But what you need to bear in mind is where you're going to camp or where you're going to stop over. So it's always worth looking at the guide. So we bought the South Downs Way guide by Paul Milmore. I can highly recommend that. It's quite a small book, so it will fit into your coat pocket or a backpack. And before you go, obviously plan your trip and where you're going to stay via that. Or alternatively, do as we do and have the OS map downloaded on your phone. Download an offline copy, so wherever you are, even out of reception along the walk, you can still access the maps and know where your GPS location is along the trail. Yeah, so that's about it. And then we obviously then go into the prep and buying all the food in readiness for the journey. So you'll see that in a second. Hope you enjoy the video. Here's the challenge, putting all of that lot into our rucksacks. Red kite, a couple of 100 metres from the start. Hi, it's me and Meghann. We're doing the South Downs Way over 8 or 9 days in July. We've just been dropped off by Roberta and Flo. They've made their way back to Winchester. Winchester's behind us in the distance there across these fields of barley. And yeah, we're with it. We're sort of 3 miles into the walk. Got really heavy packs. Temperature's about sort of 23 to 27 degrees depending whether the sun comes out, and there's thunderstorms expected, so we're prepared for a downpour at any second. Rucksacks feel really heavy. I've got my walking poles out. I feel like a bit of an old man doing this about 30 years after I first did it in the 90s, and yeah, it feels a bit weird walking again with this amount of weight, but we've got everything with us. So we're rough camping along the way. So we've got about 6 litres of water each in case we don't make it to the taps in time. We've got all our food, the tent, hammocks, stuff for every eventuality, so we're thoroughly weighed down. We're still only probably 4 or 5 miles in, but we've discovered this place here with a water tap, and if you're cycling, a pump and various cycling tools hanging off that post, but that wasn't marked on our map at all. So it might be that there are more water points along the South Downs Way than it actually says on all the bump at the moment. There's a lot of small white butterflies here. I think just licking the minerals out of the wet soil.
Whoa!
Got 2 red kites here tussling over something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
6 o'clock. We've been walking for about 4 hours and we're very stiff and very sweaty.
Tired.
Let's have a look at my back.
That's the difference. That's really, really wet.
So yeah, we've just stopped for a chewy bar, cereal bar. With the weather out there, we can feel the wind coming into our faces. There's rain in the distance, and you can feel it in the air. So it doesn't bode well. We're probably another two and a bit hours away from where we intended to be tonight. So I don't think we're going to make it. We won't make it to the pub either, so I think we're going to have to camp somewhere in a bit of woodland, somewhere in the next hour I think, before the rain comes, and looks like the tent's going to be an option tonight rather than put the hammocks up. But yeah, may not want to get up too early in the morning because yeah, may not be able to move. Well, it was starting to rain, so we've made camp, decided it's not a hammock evening. Got some food on the go, so we've got a couple of sachets of Uncle Ben's, whatever it is, egg fried rice, and it's mixed with some Szechuan thingy. Fried off some broccoli and some onion, and we decided when we went to Tesco shopping the other day, instead of bringing food bowls with us, we thought we'd have these pop-up dog bowls which fold flat. Obviously we've washed them. Yeah, give those a bit of a go. Inside the tent, bit of a mess. We're not going to bother with the hammocks and sleep inside the hammocks on the floor. We'll just put the sleeping mats down on a ground sheet. So we potentially have beetles and ticks and stuff crawling over us, but I think we're so tired we just want to eat and go to sleep. Sitting chilling out with our hot chocolates. We haven't done the washing up yet. Sun's starting to go down in the distance there. Listening to the stock doves make orangutan noises in the trees. We've just seen a hare come up fairly close. Where we're camped is on a bit of a badger trail leading to a latrine pit, so there might be some nocturnal noises in the middle of the night.
Especially with the rice Dad spilt.
Oh, that's a point, yeah. We're going to get snufflings and shufflings near the tent. This is when Meghann burns her eyebrows off. We decided not to bring matches, so we got a flint and steel to get the stove going in the morning, which is a good idea. We've had our porridge pots and a cup of tea, coffee. So all we've got to do now is just get the tent down. We're just boiling some water to do the washing up and have a wash. Meghann was at the far end of that in the narrow bit. I was in the wider end. The muntjac barked in the middle of the night. I don't know what time it was. Comfy, was it?
It was okay.
We had bugs crawling on us, didn't we?
Yeah.
So it's raining a bit now. We can just hear it under the trees, but we're dry here, and then we're going to crack on. It's probably about 9 in the morning now. Crossing over a chalk stream here. We just walked beside it a fraction of the way and it was really clear. It's a bit sort of cloudier on this little section. It was only about 10 centimetres deep, before. It looks like it's probably waist deep here, little pool. Do some very expensive trout fishing here. Chaffinch singing. Sounds of the South Downs Way and sights of the South Downs Way, flowers and butterflies. Stopped at Bolly's at the bridge for a burger. Megan's got some chilli. Thing there. But it's not particularly hot, but everybody says it's hot. The devil's head chilli. Or... Nice. Right by a trout fishery. Day 2. We're on our way from Meon Valley trout fishery where we just had a burger. Sun's really come out now, so we're in a bit of an incline now through a shady sunken track up to the top of the hill. So it's nice and cool. My camelback system, or whatever, the cheaper whatever it is, caramel or whatever, has sprung a leak, so I've now got water trickling down my back, down the rucksack, down my shorts and then down my legs, so it feels like I'm constantly peeing myself. Hope it's not losing too much water, because I'm going to need that because it's such a warm day. Oh, yeah, it's a bit hard going with 35, 40 kilogram rucksack on your back. I'm getting old as well. That in the distance, beyond the light blue of the sea, I think it's the Isle of Wight. Well, we're coming to the end of day 2. We've nearly walked, the aim was to get 12 miles today from Exton to Berriton, but because of the fact that we started late yesterday, we were what, 2 or 3 miles behind?
No, 3 or 4.
3 or 4 miles or 3 or 4 kilometres? 3 or 4 kilometres behind. Yeah, so I think Queen Elizabeth Country Park is behind us now. You can hear the A3 in the distance. Berriton lies above Queen Elizabeth Country Park, but I think because it's going to be dry tonight, we're going to sleep in the hammocks, so we're going to try and find some trees and a quieter spot in the country park to hang up in tonight. We just need to get some water now because we're running low, but there should be 2 taps at the country park. Once we've got that, find somewhere quiet to camp, and then that will be the end of day 2. There's a roebuck there. And then next door, just between those 2 trees, there somewhere is the doe. Not bothered. Right, we just arrived at Queen Elizabeth Country Park. Well, not just arrived, been hiking through it for a little while and found a nice little place to set up the hammocks. Trees are really wildly spaced apart, so Megan's one is barely fitted between them. My one's got a bit more room. Because we had burgers or whatever for lunch, I'm not overly hungry. Megan was keen on having a massive amount of pasta, so we're going to probably compromise and have fried eggs in a wrap, maybe. We could do ourselves some vegetarian burgers or something like that, couldn't we? Yeah.
Something substantial.
So yeah, here we go. It's just starting to get dark and it is 10 to 9. Morning. It's about 8:30. The 3rd day. No rain last night. Happily swinging here under the beech trees. That's the sound of the A3 in the distance, but yes, peaceful sleep. Meghan's still asleep in her hammock. It's day 3 now. We had breakfast earlier. We're now on the section between Berriton and Cocking. Met a nice lady from New Zealand walking the other way, stopping off and grabbing B&Bs wherever she can on some sort of pilgrimage. She was very nice. Megan's discovered that she's got lots and lots of ticks on her, tiny little nymph stage tick. So can we see a tick? Where is it? So it's not a mole. You sure that's not a mole?
We'll see.
Can you see that on there?
Probably can't.
They're tiny. Anyway, we tried to get them off with the tick pliers, but it's not having any of it, so we might have to leave them on for a day or so and let them get filled up with a bit of blood, Meghann blood, and then carefully take them out. But she's got them in all sorts of places and crease lines and crevices, so yeah, I think we'll leave her alone to do it herself. It's normally me that's a tick magnet. I can't find anything. I had one that was crawling around that managed to flick off, but other than that, Megan's done something differently to me. We're trying to work out what that is. Might be wearing flip-flops at camp in the evening, possibly. So yeah, this is the worst day. We're running short on water unless we grab it from a farm. There's no standpipes on this section, and it's a hot day. We're not going to get water until tomorrow morning, so it means that what we've got now, we've got to drink en route, cook with tonight, wash up with tonight, and we may not have enough. So yeah, we might have to plead some water from a house. We just walked past a little stables beside a house which had a sort of sneaky little standpipe attached to it, so we've managed to fill up the water bottles, which is a bonus because yeah, there wasn't anywhere on this day's hike that's got access to water, so we're pleased now because it means that we can stop wherever, drink as much as we want, and we're not going to be restricted with cooking, so that's good. If I turn the camera around, there's that's typical of what we're walking, these sort of quite open bridleways next to woods and fields and hedges, and then in the distance that's the escarpment that we're going to climb up to now and follow for several miles on top, so that should be, once we're on top, a nice easy hike.
Yep.
I'm lucky that I've got a slightly bigger tick, if that is a tick. My eye, I'm so blind now I can't see, so we're just trying to remove it with the tick tool. Meghan's are too small for this at the moment. Give it a twist. No. End up pulling my hair out. Is that it? No. Here he comes. So she's going to be here. Right, in he goes. Twisty, twisty. Hey, out he comes. So he should be.
Yeah.
There somewhere. That's it. Well, we've managed to find a campsite eventually. There were lots of kind of private forestry, deer shooting towers and whatnot going on, so it didn't feel particularly safe. So we managed to find a little bit of coppice woodland beside a field of sheep where the farmer dumps his carcasses in. So we're well away and downwind of that. Just made some pasta, put some tuna and broccoli in it, and we're wolfing that down. We've obviously burnt a lot of energy today. We've just checked ourselves over with ticks. How many ticks do you reckon you had?
Too many, probably near 20.
Yeah, and I had at least four on my testicles and 4 elsewhere, so the tick tweezers aren't working, so we're just literally having to pull them out. Anyway, yeah, it's probably about 8:30, I think. Have a cup of tea and then go to bed and prepare ourselves ready for the rain tomorrow. It's the start of day 4. We're wearing the same clothes. We're basically wearing clothes, all the clothes for 2 days and then swapping them over. You can probably see in the background, just the other side of my head, there's a tower. So that was the tower that potentially we would have been near if we'd been in the spruce, that dark spruce last night. So we moved into a little area of scrub. Really comfortable night. Rained a bit. We didn't get wet, although we've some of the stuff slightly damp, which we've dried hanging on trees. It's now 11:30, so we're a bit later starting off. Hopefully in the next hour we get to Cadence coffee shop where we can have food and drinks and stuff. Then we walk for another 2 or 3 hours, get to another Cadence, potentially for another coffee stop, and then we might have a similar trouble trying to find somewhere to camp tonight. I don't think we're going to make it to a campsite with a shower, which we'd hope to get to, so fingers crossed you will. It's another nice day, no rain forecast, so the forecast has changed. Here we go. That's where we've just come from. In the distance you can just see a kind of white line snaking down the grass fields between the woodland. Then it comes down to a farm where Cadence is, where the coffee shop is, so we just stopped there. Prior to that we were only walking sort of 20 minutes, half an hour. We weren't camped far above the coffee shop. Now we've got a 6-mile walk before the next coffee shop, although that'll be closed by the time we get there. So we've just had a bit of a meal. Now we climb a really steep hill. Probably regret having something to eat. Sun's come out again. But yeah, this is the type of landscape. Lots of open skies and clouds, fields and wood. And now we're climbing. Here we go. Oh. I haven't tripped over yet, thanks to my walking poles. Right, it's about lunchtime on day 4. So we've got up onto the escarpment again. We're walking right beside Charlton Forest and Graffham Down. And we've just realised that there's a little map here showing where we are in context of the rest of the South Downs Way. So starting from the west at Winchester and going to the east at Eastbourne, we're probably just a little over halfway. When you're walking it, you're sort of trudging away, not really realising where you are in the context of the whole walk. But yeah, we're getting there now. It's easier walking on the top, on the long straight sections. Group suck. We just had a very close encounter with a little baby bunny. Stood in the middle of the track while somebody walked past it, and then we walked past it. Nice little thing. We're outside of Charlton Forest now, on our way to Amberley, where we might stay at the campsite tonight, depending on what time we get there. It's nice and open. We just had a bit of a shower, only a brief one, didn't get too wet. Anything you want to say?
It feels nice to know that we're halfway, but also sad because it's a nice time.